My name is Kathleen Rowley, and I've been teaching for about 12 years. I started as a classroom teacher's assistant in a bilingual classroom with kindergartners, but I've been a 10th grade and 11th grade and 9th grade English teacher for about 10 years. This year I teach at Culver City High School in Los Angeles. I had an amazing professor who looked at me one day and said, "You should probably do this for a living." And so it wasn't that extraordinary in any sense. I think what made me stay teaching is working with students every day, and I think that brings me back every day. But I think what ultimately just got me into the classroom was another good teacher recognizing that and letting me know that I would probably do okay and that I'd probably do a good job. That mentorship really got me started. I'm always shocked that they pay me to teach. And so I know that there's this big like stigma that teachers don't get paid enough, and I'm sure they don't. But I think when you get paid to interact with young people every day, to have the free will to design what you think would be best for your classroom, and then when you can see over time the change that you're making with students and then within a community and within a neighborhood, that long-term change really just, it changes you as a person, and it makes you a better person, it makes you a better citizen, it makes you stronger than you ever thought you could be, it makes you more empathetic. And when I realized the kind of person that I wanted to be and the kind of future that I wanted to live in, those little interactions every day with students were really adding up to that. Also, and people don't say this enough, kids are hilarious, right? The unbridled imagination of a young person is truly the most beautiful thing I've ever encountered in my life, and their hope and their optimism and even their tentative despair is so fragile and important and worth recognizing. So I think just having the opportunity to interact with them really is not replicated in any other job I've done. I've worked with adults, I've worked in offices, I've worked with my hands, and you don't ever get the opportunity to change people and interact with people the way you get to with young people. I think the closest thing I've ever had is being a mom, but Paulo Freire says we aren't their parents. We're something so much more important. We're their advocates, and we're their political examples, and we're the people that they need to be able to depend on to do what's right for the whole community and not just that tiny family grouping. And I think they need examples of that too, in addition to their families and in addition to their parents. And so it's such a unique relationship that I have never experienced anywhere else in the world. It's the hardest work that's ever been worth doing. And there's no kind of tired like a first-year teacher on Friday afternoon tired. And I think if you haven't loved something enough to cry about it, then this job will definitely show you that humility, right? And give you opportunities to grow in ways that maybe you haven't even imagined that you wanted to grow. But I think as an early career teacher, it's really important to have amazing mentors and amazing leadership, and to be surrounded by the best versions of who you'd like to be, because there are so many pitfalls and traps along the way. There's so many ways to feel bad or to make mistakes that are necessary, and there's such a huge learning curve that surrounding yourself with as many people as you can that have your best interest and the kids' best interest at heart, and making sure that those support systems are there in place from the very beginning really makes a difference. And I think it's in the best interest of the kids too, right? Because in the end, we have to do what's right for the kids and what's best for the kids. Because they don't have a choice. Legally, they have to go to that school. Legally, they have to be in that classroom, right? And so you are morally obligated to do right by them because they have no other option. And so I think there's that balance of like caring for yourself and taking care of yourself and making sure that you have people that will support you, but also making sure that you're doing the best to care for the students and love them and respect them. And it's hard. And it's worth it. And it gets better. And one day you're gonna sleep. And until then, that's why you're young, because you're strong and built to be beaten up. And it gets better. And then, 10 years pass and it feels like 5 minutes and you wonder where the time went and you're so glad you did it. Yeah, so it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint, but it's worth it. Absolutely worth it.